Be?
Now you're
Never
just
thought
making
about
me
that.
think of that picture I found of Zenyatta, but instead of the orbs, it's just Reaper's shotguns that he keeps throwing around.
You know what we need to get? We need to get a good illustration of the half-orc, half-dragonborn from Strahd. Ooh. Yay!
Yep, I noticed. I'm watching the D20s bounce. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
So, we will be missing our Paladin. Unfortunately, they had a bit of a family gathering happen 2 hours ago.
Family.
So we will not be having them present. Maybe they'll show up later. Who knows? For now, we have the rest of the cast, minus the Kanku, who will be showing up a bit later. They are also family obligations. But who needs family when you have D&D? So, last time, the party debated, quandered, and looted the remains of the town of Air, trying to discover exactly how so many people disappeared so quickly. A bit of arcanic knowledge from the artificer brought along the theory that it might have been a sort of teleportation. A lot of people being removed quite quickly is not something easily done other than by mass displacement. Or that's the running theory, at least. The group decided to take off south, following the only current path they have, which is locked within Princess Melina. Their objective currently is to get to the dwarven hold of Dim Lodar, a large mountainous dwarven kingdom located in the center of southern Belden. After a few days of travel and a surprise ambush by a group of Knoll hunters, along with the pack leader, the party arrived on the bridge that leads to the river town of Rivercross. Now, as you all take a good look into the town, at first what seems to be a quiet, empty place starts to become something much more foul. As you look upon the buildings, there's these large, blooming fungi, huge mushroom-like plants starting to sprout out of the wood through the ground. You see stalks of these large, growing, spore-producing white and greenish stalks.
Worship.
That's an interesting thing I see over there. If y'all would take a look, you realize that that's a one-up.
I need everyone to give me a perception check.
Prudence never notices anything.
Okay, Isoba and Rogue, as you're looking from the edge of this bridge, when you're looking around, you notice that there's a person slumped against one of the buildings. This fungus starting to grow all over his body. As you focus your vision on him, you can see faint movement of his chest slowly breathing.
That fellow still looks a little alive.
Want to poke it with your big long stick?
Who are you saying that to?
Rogue.
Uh,
Not stab it, but,
I mean,
jostle lightly.
I don't know what you heard, but
He sort of heads over and from distance kind of gives it a little poke.
Are you approaching stealthily or just walking up?
I don't really do the stealth thing when I'm approaching on my mount with my lance, so yeah, I'm going to say no.
Okay. As soon as you get within about 20 feet, the head of the person just turns and looks at you. And you can see that the part of the face that you couldn't see also has one of these horrible orangey mushrooms starting to just split the side of his face open.
whoa there,
The
Paladin.
other eye is clouded and white.
He
And
pulls
as it-
back the reins and
He opens its mouth. You can see more of those white, long fungi starting to grow off the tongue.
Can I light this thing up yet?
Yes.
You can.
This is best dealt with by fire.
You certainly can.
Well, funnily enough,
Okay. It's prone, so I'm gonna give it disadvantage on this. I would say no, it fails.
all right, then it takes 7 fire damage.
Okay. And as it, you see the plants around it start to burn. You see its body twitch and shake as it starts to slowly try to stand up. As you backed away from that area, you watch it as its head twists and moves around. It looks like it's unsure where that thing was that was approaching it.
yeah, so Rogue will definitely retrograde advance to a strategically safe location, perhaps behind some of the other party members. And
Yeah, I think moving forward we ought to do it in a slash and burn sort of manner. Perhaps burn first.
That is all right with me.
And for the sake of this, it cannot find you, and it does not seem to have the base instincts to get out of harm's way, and very quickly it dies. However, as it does, you watch this large of spores just erupt from the body, all the cuts and breaks and bits of mold and mushrooms all out this cloud of spores about 20 feet around it.
Okay, about Prudence tries to like back away quickly, one of each hand, grabbing somebody, trying to pull.
None of
three
you are
people away.
in the way. And
I know, but still.
you watch as the spores float there for a while before all starting to drift down towards the ground.
Just in case, because spores float. Not expected.
So, this seems like a dangerous place.
Has anyone heard of this before? Cause I sure ain't.
You can all
What?
roll an Arcana check.
Starting strong tonight.
Ooh.
This is new to all of you.
We're studying this from a distance, I reckon.
Isoba,
This-
you feel like you've heard of this somewhere, but you can't quite place where.
I forget. Was this a town that Prue had come through on the way north?
Yes.
So obviously it wasn't like this when she left. This
Nope.
is something she would have remembered.
You would have remembered mushroom people.
Yes.
Unless you were really distracted that day.
Is there any way around the town, or do we have to go through it?
The town is a
Or is
giant
there any
island.
is there any reasonable way around the town to get to our destination?
The town is a giant island on top of a raging river.
Sigh.
Now, as Rogue was approaching, none of the mushrooms react to him, the large fungal blooms. None of those seem to care. It was just this creature when he got too close.
If only we had something expendable to send out ahead of us. Perhaps something bird-like.
And from the back of the group, you hear, and a bird flies off ahead of you. Now, fortunately, your character is playing a Kenku, and therefore cannot speak. So he cannot relay to what he is seeing.
Really only looking for if as the owl flies along, does anything get disturbed other than like another corpse? Like, is there a way to suss out like red light, green light, stay away from this spot, go towards that
Make
spot?
a perception check as you watch the bird fly around.
Yeah, someone could help me keep an eye on that thing? That would be
Snap
wonderful.
is going to watch as well, so consider advantage. Okay, 17. You do see as the bird flies in, another plant, or what you assumed was a plant at first, move, and now that you're looking at it, it is another corpse. But other than that, the now invading plant life doesn't seem to move. The fungus doesn't seem to spore out at the bird. It all seems very docile.
Well, I suppose we could start making our ways through.
Maybe we should arm ourselves with fire and cover our faces just in case.
Sure.
The Prue at least is gonna like take some cloth or extra shirt or something she has and just wrap it around her face to prevent spores.
Mm-hmm. Very easily done. And
Yeah,
that might,
Isoba's just gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
that might actually help you when if you encounter something that decides to sport you.
Rogue will get out his cold weather gear and put on Paladin's little booties.
Isoba will just like pull up his robe to cover his face.
You all find ways of covering your mouth and nose as you start to walk through. It's the town is almost alien. You see normal homes, normal buildings, storefronts, wood and stone, and at the same time you see these odd blooms of dark purples and neon blues and bright orange mixed with browns. Large fungal caps growing out of the ground and spreading. Some already have grown up, being tall or taller than the building they're growing against. You see this creeping moss, which you assume to be a moss, starting to climb its way up lantern posts, and vines of this sickly greenish white grasping onto signs hanging off doorways. It's completely alien. You've never seen plant life like it.
I wasn't here that long ago. This is insane.
It's probably the work of elves.
I doubt the involvement of elves. Sincerely.
I thought they liked trees.
There's always trying to grow too much stuff.
From behind you, you hear a as Snap has tried to get into one of the buildings. However, one of the mushrooms, as he touched it, burst out with this cloud of spores, and he quickly backs away from it and thinks better.
So, as we're kind of creeping along, like through the town, Rogue's got his, lance in one hand, kind of tapping the ground, checking for stuff, and he's got just like a hunk of cloth bundled up and wrapped up in a bit of a rope that he's chucking ahead, and then sort of reeling in, just looking for anything weird that might be triggering, trying to turn up any of those corpses before we get too close.
Nothing jumps out at you. However, the further you come into this village, the more bodies you see. Unlike the scene in Air, people tried to flee. And you see villagers just laying in the middle of the road, covered in these mushrooms starting to pop out of their bodies. You see faces of horror grasping at their own throats before they slumped against a wall.
And just to be clear, they look dead, but then moved.
They
Like,
do not look dead.
they don't look dead.
They are breathing and reacting to sound and stimuli in and as you've come to find this out, that seems to be about a 20-foot radius around them. But they are very not dead.
Yeah, more fire.
You burn anything that is close.
I burn anything that thinks about moving.
Make a religion check for me, Isoba. Nope. Okay. You burn anything that acts like it's going to move towards you or your party.
Grudge move.
Nothing too dangerous. They're actually very slow moving. One of them, as you passed by a building, kind of tried to crawl out a window, and you see it's very sluggish. It's very slow.
Good.
Yeah, I would like to be out of this town now.
And clarity moment for me, we basically have to pass through to get to the bridge on the other side?
Yep.
Okay.
Slowly make your way through. Just lost in this island turned fungal forest. Luckily for you, there is a main road to this town. It goes right from one bridge to the other.
And kind of glancing around, are there any signs of people having fought back? Like, is there any scorched areas before the people fell, or does it look like it just took them all where they stood?
Other than where your party is currently walking, you see no signs of burning. You do see people who look to have been either guards or mercenaries or soldiers who were here, weapons drawn, on the ground, plants growing out of them.
Oh, so that armor would look nice on me if it weren't so mushroomy.
You continue to walk, slowly making your way towards the other end of this long main road of this wide village. And the village itself and the river itself is not too lengthy between north and south. However, it is very long, east and west. It's a very long built out island. And the town pretty much encompasses every inch it possibly can of this island without falling off the edge of it. You, especially you, Isoba, do notice a very large structure closer to the western side. A very large pointed building with the symbol of a sun sitting atop of it.
Is that my boy?
That is your boy. That is your boy.
Does it look how overtaken with these mushrooms does it look?
You would have to go over and see. It's off the main path.
How off the main path?
About maybe 100 feet.
Too far. Keep moving.
You can see from where you are, it's about a 3-story building to a 4th story at the tower, at the big tower's main point. The large sun sitting atop of that. But you do find your way to the opposite side of Rivercross. You all turn around and you see such an odd sight. Strangely enough, past the last building, that's where the last of the mushrooms end. Beyond that, there's no fungus growing out of the ground. There's definitely none on the bridge.
Well, I say we send back an armies with a lot of firewood. This is not a nice place.
I'd say we should burn it, but I don't think we have a way to get the whole town.
Well, it can grow up a little bit more and then just be more fuel. It all burn better in a few months. Dry season.
Are any of you
Months.
here proficient in nature?
So,
No. Or I'm not.
No.
nope.
Payton's character, maybe, with the Outlander? Or is that survival?
That's survival on them. They have a -1 to nature. Nope.
Mm.
And snap. Nope. Okay, never mind. None of y'all know shit about plants.
Well, Paladin, my faithful steed, knows all about plants, but he's not talking.
You know what? Roll a nature check for Paladin.
Sure. Paladin don't know nothing.
Paladin don't know nothing.
Woof.
Don't know nothing about
Woof.
nothing.
Rough.
So, now that you stand on the southern bridge of Rivercross, what are you all to do?
Isoba would like to make damned sure that it is stopping at the buildings, at the end of the buildings, and not growing out at all past.
Roll a perception check. As far as you can see, and as far east and west as you can see, the mushrooms seem to stop at the final buildings. And the more you saw of the inside, the more it seemed like all of the fungus was growing out of either people or buildings. It wasn't growing out of roads.
Sure, we goes on a little ways, lights a fire and fires out our clothes.
Perhaps we could just wash our clothes instead of burning them.
Well, no, she hangs him over the fire like he drives out to freeze.
He's basically talking about just heating them up really hot, not actually burning his
don't-
clothes.
I do not think that is how that works.
Well, sure, you do that and the freeze go jumping off.
The what now? The freeze?
Fleas.
Fleas.
Oh, the feliz. Ah,
Yes, yeah.
No,
Feliz
that is-
Navidad.
that is not how.
Fungus
I
works.
do say that in character because I know you know how that works, Casey. Or at least I will operate under the assumption.
Okay.
Is there any spot on the other side of the river where there is like the water's not moving super fast, or like
The
there's like a natural
water,
beach or something?
This river runs between so essentially it's a very tall ravine. There's a mountainside on the other
I
side.
understand. I understand.
The bridge and the city are nearly 100 feet up.
Gotcha.
So that's a no then?
So that'd be no.
Okay.
I got some rope and a bucket.
This is a very violent river.
No, that is okay. But I do think we should clean our clothes. That is a good idea, yes?
For sure.
Since Prue traveled this way before, are there any other like rivers or streams nearby that she might know of to do that with?
No. There is a giant river in the middle of southern Bilden. It splits into two directions near the very bottom of the continent. And that river comes off of the mountain that holds the Dwarven Hold. But other than that, no, there's no. However, you do know that the path beyond this bridge does skate back towards either towards the mountains or towards the coast. In fact, now that you're sitting upon this river, I can bring you guys here.
Ah,
A map!
Ooh.
with names on the towns.
It's like somebody's been making improvements.
Applause.
It's like I almost
It's
didn't
like
finish this.
It's like somebody panicked.
I almost didn't finish this today because I blanked on all the names.
Life happens that way.
Life does happen that way. So, y'all are here.
Oh wow.
Are we here or are we here?
You are here. You are very specifically here. Because you haven't gone across this bridge yet.
Okay.
I thought we had.
No, you are standing at
I specifically thought we had fucked entirely out of Rivercroft.
No, you are currently sitting at because you were checking the edge of the town.
Okay, so I want to just point out and ask a question, because this seems like some sort of like major sort of setup here. The bridge seems to stop suddenly.
Hey, so you know how Incarnate doesn't have all of the everything you could possibly want? They don't have a long enough bridge.
I'm just saying, like, if that's foreshadowing, you guys can go first across the bridge.
No, the bridge extends. I'm gonna have to draw this in. God damn it! There.
So there is a functional bridge in front of us.
There's a
I am crossing
functional.
it.
It is
Isoba
definitely
is
not
immediately
going to
crossing it.
collapse. Breathe.
Because I thought he had already, and Isoba wants to get far away from this bullshit.
Because the bridge is nearly 100 feet long. So to inspect the side of the town, you would have to stay on the side of the bridge.
Gotcha. Tarry ho.
Okay. What is the marching order?
Probably Isoba, Rogue, and then anybody else.
Okay.
Well, Isoba doesn't want to go first. Let's put fucking Artoria first.
Meat Shield will go first.
She's not here.
She's not here. Meat Shield to go first. And
okay. Rogue will follow after Meat Shield because he does have at least a little range. And then I assume Princess is probably in the middle.
Princess is next to Artoria. She doesn't leave Artoria's side.
You don't lead with the target.
Are you going to try to force her to stay in the middle?
No, it's just fine. That's more of a rogue. Like,
Look, sisters are bad plans, having them walks up side by side like that. If there's the ones that they want to get captured, or I mean, guess it takes the burden off of us getting shot at.
So, you all make your way across the bridge. And about 50 feet into that walk, you all watch Artoria and Melina vanish.
Isoba is going to run to the exact spot where they vanished.
You watch Isoba vanish.
rogues.
Isoba, you run right into their back.
I look behind me.
Is this something Prue knows about, or is this new?
This is new. And Isoba, as you look back, you see this strange darkness. It's almost as if there is a shadow right where you just walked. Everything seems hazy beyond it. You can see your party just fine. They're still behind you, but they're shaded. And as you stand there, you notice the sun is brighter here.
I'm going to poke my head back through and just like, come on, come on, come on. Already up.
As you poke your head back through, there is a noticeably darker light now that you've passed by this. And you all watch as Isoba's head poofs into existence.
Well,
Yeah.
that's unusual.
It's likely that his face like hits her metal hand because she was like going close. It was like slowly about to reach her metal hand through, and then Isoba's face is like right there.
I can see them.
Isoba can see. Isoba can see on that side. So you would have known.
Like, aiming would have gone for his face.
However, Pridid says your hand reaches. You notice your hand is starting to disappear until you're all the way through. And everything is fine.
That wasn't here last time. Then again, neither were the mushrooms.
Yes, that makes about 7 things that weren't here last time. Let us keep moving, please.
You're just gonna ignore this?
Yes, I'm going to move far away from this until I know what it is.
Does anything else look weird, at least to her? Because it's been
well, the war camp at the end of the bridge looks weird.
I feel like you buried the lead on that one, buddy.
Y'all are just getting out of the darkness. Y'all just got out of the darkness.
Got out of?
It was the words war and camp combined.
You all
notice
the
what now?
As you turn and you start making your way along the bridge again, there is a mass of tents and dwarves standing at the other end of the bridge.
Well, they're not the best army, but they'll do.
So...
2 of whom are standing at the very edge of the bridge, staring at you, wild-eyed.
Isoba puts his helmet on.
We look back and we see like a wall of darkness.
You see a wall of shadow. It's not a wall, as in it doesn't block sight. You can see through it. But as far as you can tell now, anything inside the wall can't see out of it.
Okay, so it's brighter on this side.
It's brighter by a lot on this side.
Does it look like it's spanning out like a really wide area?
As you look, it is spanning the entire length of the World Scar.
Huh.
Well, that's intense.
Bro.
Anyway, dwarves.
And you have your helmet on. You sense a bit of fear and a lot of nervousness.
Isoba goes, just hands up, hands out, just, hello, we are
We're
fine.
confused.
Without saying a word, the two dwarves lift their weapons up and start approaching you with a bit of quickness to their pace, their heavy armor clanging as they walk towards you. You all! Where did you come from?
We came from Rivercross,
No,
and before that air.
come with us. You need to come with us right now. And
I do that.
The two soldiers start to flank you and essentially are now going to the back of your line and just kind of pushing you all along.
Watch the tail.
There is no need to push. We are coming.
There is definitely a sense of, and you can all feel it just in their presence, a sense of panic. And they lead you into the encampment, and you could see there's an army out here. There's a full-blown army of dwarves primarily. And you are led quickly through, weaving between the tents, and you're catching glances. Soldiers who are standing, eating, adjusting their armor all start to turn and look at you as you're being led, and there's this look of confusion and interest as more people have come across the bridge. And you are led to a much larger tent. The flap is open, and inside you can see two figures looking down at a map that's resting on the table, and both of them look very agitated as they're both pointing and waving each other off dismissively before turning and seeing the commotion that is quickly rushing towards the opening. You are all kind of pushed inwards. Sir, these two came across the river. At once you watch the two figures, a older dwarven man, dressed in very well-adorned plate mail. You can see gold trimming on a single pauldron that rests on his shoulder. Every couple of inches, there's a embedded line of gold on what is a darkened steel plate. A hammered piece of brass starts from just under that pauldron and goes all the way down to his hip on the opposite side. And a war hammer rests in a sling at his hips. The other man is significantly taller and elven. As he stands up, he's in bluish-gray robes. His ear, one of them is adorned with these bright ruby-like gems, and in between the two, a small silver chain curls down and connects the two. Fairly young-looking, although by elven standards, that can be very misleading. And they both just stare at you a lot.
I still have the helmet on.
You do, and there is... It isn't a necessarily hostile feeling you're getting, but but there's a lot of preparedness.
Let me know if I sense any active hostility. I'm going to keep the helmet on and just kind of scan around for active hostility.
You don't sense any active hostility yet, although it's teetering there as you are the strange folks that just came through that nightmare.
So looking over the dwarven fellow who had the bands of gold and the brass, that sounded a lot like an insignia of rank, or at least a design that should be noticed.
Yes.
Rogue being a air quotes general, would he recognize general, captain, lord, king, some rank?
He
of
would
military?
recognize rank. You don't exactly know how the dwarven military system works.
Fair. But would you say this looks like the outfit of someone who should be leading this many troops, or
Yes.
this looks like some? Okay.
The dwarf is fairly obvious to you. The elf is a little weird.
Okay. Fair.
Other than the single earring, there's very plain look to him.
So Rogue will take a little bit of initiative, and from the back of his mount, he will snap off a form of salute, fist palm facing forward, tapped against his brow.
General,
He greets the dwarf in the goblin version of general.
introducing myself, I am Rogue, General of Sanso. Pleased to meet you, and to be greeted by your fine soldiers.
You watch the dwarven man put a hand up, and he waves to the elf, who quickly grabs the papers and grabs the map rather, and scrolls it up and tucks it away. Well then, you came from the north.
Yes, that seems very obvious by your escorted soldiers.
He quickly walks over to a small drawer, a small nightstand, essentially. Opens it and pulls out a book. Walks back over the table. Slams it on the table, opens it, and turns it to you and pushes it forward. The book is empty. What did you see over there? Come on, spit it out.
Where's your...
One town got overtaken by zombies, and the other town got turned into mushrooms.
As the story's being told, Rogue draws effectively the picture from the previous page.
Okay, good to know. At this point, the elven man speaks up. We knew of the mushrooms. Were there any demonic forces?
Lots of undead. We didn't see demons, right?
Demons. No abyssal presence.
In this world lore, normally gnolls run behind demons. In this world lore, are they demonic in origin?
Roll a religion check.
Okie doke. I might be musing this out loud just in case somebody who knows religion better than me.
You know that gnolls have some demonic heritage. You don't know what or how far that spans back. You also know that gnolls as a species are a problem everywhere.
Okay.
And hearing a pack of gnolls ran through attacking people when there are no guards should strike no one as
fair.
As anything more than scavengers.
Prudence kind of just has like her hand on her hip and like an eyebrow raised, but other than me, the seemed like most of the town got teleported away, and there were a lot of undead roaming around.
Teleported? You mean... Hold
They
on.
were gone.
Gone. Damn it. And he turns to the dwarf. Everywhere's different. Everything we've heard is different. I don't know what to make of it. Pull out the map again. And they lay the map back out, and you can see over every town and every city, all the way to Minas Tirith, there's writing and scribbling over this map of northern Belden that I do not have because I had time to make one map. And everywhere you can see is something different. Demons. Zombies, as they start writing in over air. You already see fungus written. In every town, there's a different scribbling. One is fire. One is frost.
Is there anything written over Dim Lodar?
No. This is a map of the north. Okay.
Okay.
The one they're looking at.
We were hanging out on the wrong side of the river.
Yes. You were on the bad side, as it turned out.
Like as we're going through,
And there was the invisibility berries.
Those happen.
Yeah, it's still weird.
Elves.
Yeah,
No offense. Yeah.
Damn it.
None taken.
Don't encourage him.
What else did you see?
Well, some of our parties may have some additional information regarding other events, but they may wish to withhold that to reveal to the appropriate parties.
and I don't know how high up the ranking of the dwarves they wanted to get before they shared their story of where they came from.
At this point, Artoria steps up and puts her hand on the table and says, "We need to talk to the Iron King." And the dwarf raises his eyebrow as high as a dwarf's eyebrow can go. The Iron King. That's a hell of a request, little lady. You watch as this young girl you've been traveling with, who has maybe said 20 words to anyone this entire time, and 10 of them were to Artoria, step up next to your new Paladin compatriot. I am Princess Melina of Minas Tirith, and I request humbly an audience with the Iron King of the Mountain of Dim Lodar. It is vital that we make our way there. You watch as both the dwarf and the elf look towards each other and then back at this girl, who quickly turns her head and points to the symbol that's resting on her cheek. At once, both of them nod. All right. For the life of me, I should have trusted you. But if you're bringing this girl, it may pass. And gives a hard look to all of you. Which road were you taking?
road were we on?
Now, if you all observe the map,
Mhm.
there are two roads you can take.
We will take whichever road gets us there faster.
Okay, there are two roads that potentially lead to Dimmu. One is a Western Moor road, but that leads to the base of the mountains. That road at the best of times is guarded, air quotes, but it is a long expanse of not much. The other southern road is the more populated one, and Prudence, you took this road when you came north. It is the road that leads straight down towards Corethan as well.
Well, speaking as a military man, I would recommend that we take the western road. It seems that the cities and towns are being attacked, and therefore may be more dangerous, even if more convenient. I believe we can handle normal banditry, but I don't know about this wicked wave that is infecting the north.
The elf holds his hand up and goes, "As we have observed, that field that cuts across the world scar is as far as these events have happened. And while there has been a rise across the world of various happenings, none on this continent have risen to the levels we are finding across the river.
Apparently, getting the kid to the Iron King is a big deal and a time crunch for them. Fastest way possible.
Well then, and you watch as the elf reaches into his into a pouch inside of his robe and pulls something out. Everyone make an investigation check.
No.
Maybe.
Who goes there?
Bing.
It's a stalker.
It's a bird friend.
It's a bird friend.
We are not hearing bird friend if bird friend is speaking.
Prudence, roll an investigation check as well.
Okay. Do.
I have to now.
There goes our bird friend.
There goes our bird friend. What a shame.
Would you say he's a little flighty?
Alas, poor bird friend. We knew you well.
Come back. Give us the bird.
Hello?
We believe in you, microphone. Oh, I heard the snap.
And that was all we heard. Isoba, you've been whispered.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Son of a... No. I need to read the helmet again.
Is it okay that I picture your character like putting 2 fingers to their temples and sort of making little circle gestures while they stare at someone?
That would not be appropriate.
Just Professor Xavier-ing at someone.
I feel like something happens when you invoke this helmet's ability, but maybe not.
The jewel in the left eye glows.
Ooh.
I am, as long as I am maintaining concentration on this spell, I don't know if I have to dive deep before I can put a message in their head, or if I can just put a message in their head while I am.
Let me see the item. Let me go tearing through your character sheet.
It's Inception rules. You've got to go at least 3 levels deep before you can implant an idea.
Oh man, I don't want to do that. That hurts my brain.
Oh, I don't have it written on my sheet.
Oh.
Sorry, I saw you flip over.
Damn it. All right.
I'll post the text. I can post the text in chat.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm just pulled it up from the Roll20 compendium.
Oh, right. I can also do that.
No, to be fair, I did a Google search and it sent me to the Roll20 compendium, so you're not entirely wrong.
Now I need to remember what the item's called.
It's spoiler alert, the Helm of Telepathy.
Yeah.
In case anybody hadn't put it together yet.
In case we haven't linked to that twice now.
Yeah.
Hold on. As long as you maintain concentration, you can use a bonus action to send information to focus on. I would say that yes, you can, because it acts as the message spell.
Okay. I will just put it into their head. I see what you are.
Where's those weirds?
I didn't hear anything, but it felt weird.
You all feel very strange for no reason whatsoever. You get the elf doesn't stop moving. He doesn't stop reaching into his pouch. However, in that second, you get a message back that says, "Many would be rather taken aback if they knew the truth." And he pulls out these small emblems. He hands one to Artoria and one to Melina, who both pocket them.
I think I have to go a little deeper here.
Okay.
The DC is 13.
As you try to probe his mind, you are blocked.
Interesting.
However, the elf does look directly at you and just smiles and nods his head.
I will take no further action against this
If it will make
elf.
the Inquisitive One comfortable. He glances down towards the dwarf, who sighs loudly. Close the tent.
Was the close the tent like on your way out, or like do it now?
Do it now.
Seems weird, but okay.
And he just reaches behind and slides the tent shut with his lance.
As the tent is closed, you all watch as a flash overcomes the elf. And while he's still in the same bluish gray robes, the same earring pierces his ear, you watch as the color of his skin, which was a almost yellowish pale, darken to a gray. The eyes that were a beautiful blue turn pale white. The hair becomes silver in color. And what wasn't there before, a pair of glasses sits over his eye. A set of red lenses, not clear as one would think, rests on his nose.
Rogue just looks over at the dwarven general and's like,
The only thing is more guilty than an elf is a butler. Like an elf butler is always the one who did it.
The dwarf just sighs again heavily.
Always the one that did it. Snap is just nodding.
My name is Lionel Amakir. And the elf bows his head lowly, his silver hair tumbling past his shoulders. Does this answer your question, Inquisitive One?
No, but I will not ask again, as I have no need.
He nods to you, and with a snap of his fingers, the illusory form of the high elf returns. It is a precautionary measure one must take. Tensions are high, and, well, I'm sure you can understand why there would be a need to keep calm.
Of course.
Now then, you have your way to see the king. You may stay within this camp if you wish. Or you may carry on your own. Unfortunately, we can't spare any soldiers to go at your back. I need every man here in case this accursed abyssal bullshit decides to cross. Check with the quartermaster. 3 tents down. He might have a spare horse or 2.
Thank you, General. That's very kind of you.
Alright, go. A fucking war against a different goddamn plane to plan.
I don't want your job.
I don't want my job.
Yeah, you should always want a job ahead of yours.
Get
That's
out!
why keep moving.
And he waves his hand. You all take your leave.
Yeah.
quartermaster resupply and on our way.
Yup.
So you head to a few tents down, and you see not really a tent so much as a small lean-to stable. Or at least it looks like one. However, when you get to the front of it, you see racks of weapons and sacks and armor strewn about and piles of paper. And you see a rather harried-looking gnome bouncing back and forth, lifting papers, moving them, signing things, tossing it to the side, running, checking armor, banging on it a few times before he goes, ah! And tosses it over to a different pile and runs back over to the paperwork, fills something else out. He seems busy at best.
In Gnomish, Prudence is gonna say, like, don't forget to breathe.
I am.
Like, on the way here.
And he stops. He goes, wait. And he looks at you. Who said that? He starts looking around at your kneecaps.
Snaps her fingers up here.
Oh! You know Gnomish? Yeah. You're an odd color. And he goes back to working. He's just... It seems like whatever job he's currently doing, it should be being done by far more people.
Tends to be the way. So, we were sent here by the big guy in the tent over there. Said you might have some provisions. Since we're
Provisions?
heading...
As if I didn't have enough things going in and out. One moment. Lifts half the stacks of papers and grabs one from underneath and pulls it out and goes, no, and puts it back and grabs another one. No, puts it back, grabs another one. No, God. He puts the papers down. He runs around to the back of the lean-to and he comes back with another stack of papers and he just starts ripping through all of them. But if there's an organizational system in this nightmare, none of you are able to see it. However, after about 2 minutes, he goes, here we go. Provisions. I can spare three sacks of rations and one more moment. He runs back around again. He comes back with another small bag and he puts it on what is essentially a snack table that he's working around. And you hear the clinking of small glass objects. And he takes 3 more sacks and he on top of one another.
If it would be any helps, we're heading to Dim Lodar. If you has a cart or wagon that you need to return supplies or make a provisions runs for you, we would be happy to use that and escort it on our way.
No cart. Maybe cart. No cart. Maybe cart. No cart.
How about the wagons?
No wagons. Wagons. No wagons. Wagons. And he's just thumbing through things and moving sheets of paper around. And you can see he's actually sweating a lot. And he finally comes back and he goes, okay, I have 2 horses. No wagons.
Well, that's a start.
During this entire time, I'm casing the entire lean-to/tent anything in particular standing out to me?
Roll an investigation check.
Wunderbar. Where is there? 13.
A lot of worn or broken swords, axes, armor, a lot of paperwork, sacks of food or grain or what have you, and more paperwork. There doesn't seem to be a lot of interesting things in this area. Honestly, the most interesting thing is the two glass vials, or the glass vials that he has in that small satchel that he placed on the table.
Interesting. Okay.
And at the moment, he is holding one of those pieces of paper out towards the group. And a quill. Come on, one of you, any of you. Come on.
Kenku's not shining shit.
Rogue will take the paper and he'll look it over and he'll scrawl in at the bottom, one additional cart to be delivered at time, and then sign.
And he looks at the paper, and then he looks up at you, and he looks at the paper, and looks up at you, and he looks up at the paper. I have no cards!
No, this gives us permission to requisition one.
Wait, all the requisitions come here, to the army!
Well, yes, but this would be en route.
Fine.
Don't. Yeah.
Fine. And he pushes the stuff towards you.
Kenku's immediately digging up rope.
And you find 3 glass vials of a reddish liquid.
Okay. So my natural assumption is healing potions. Kenku
Normally
has
you'd be right.
Healing potions. Does it look the same?
Same-ish.
Good enough.
Just about what you'd expect. It's not always a universal color, but most of the time it's standard red liquid in small glass vial.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Probably
brown,
red liquid.
sometimes it's green.
Interesting.
Depends on when it's made and what it's made from.
Got it. Healing potions are not a universal thing in this universe.
Nope. They're standard-ish.
Yeah. Kenku's going to toss one to who he perceives to be squishy, so Bubblegum Tiefling and Mr. I want to invade your head.
Okay, Prudence and
Okay.
Isoba, write down. You both have 1 healing potion.
And Paladin's fine. We still have Her Highness Fancy Pants with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cool. She'll get the third one.
Lena has the third one.
And are we fair to assume out of earshot of the gnome at this point? Or did anybody else have anything they need to do?
You can move out of earshot of the gnome if you need to.
Yeah. And as the Kenku's handing it to Sir Princess Fancy Pants, he's going to be pantomiming basically if like dying and points to the vial. Basically, if we're dying, give it to us.
She's nodding. No, so healing potion works.
Good. Seeing that she understands, will continue to move on, leaving the lean-to and poking my nose probably where it doesn't belong.
Hey, Snaps, If you should happen to see a cart which would benefit us more than others, we do have permission to requisition one.
Cart requisition.
Yes.
Yes.
And then other than that, take possession of the horses, put the slowest people on the horses, and start moving.
You do find the horses there at the other side of the camp, but you show the guards the piece of paper and they let you have 2.
Princess fan getting stuck on one.
Oh, excellent. I see they use the hornless unicorns.
Okay. Yes, they're using the hornless unicorns.
Snap's just staring at you like you're an absolute imbecile. Though it's kind of hard to get that to come across because Kenku.
It's very hard to pout with a beak.
There you go. So,
It's just hard side eye. Like it's turned looking away, but he's definitely side eyeing the goblin.
time of day and reasonableness to set out, or should we be spending a night somewhere?
It's. I would say about now it's closer to maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What I found, guys.
Ooh.
Or technically, yeah, somewhere there.
Whereas, does anyone else have reason to stay in camps?
Might as well get going. And with all the talk of like abyssal demons and whatnot, I'm just kind of anxious a bit to not be around people who are ready to, murderize demons.
Technically, you're a devil. There's a difference.
Most normal people, I don't think, could tell the difference. But she is hot pink, but still.
Color coded for convenience.
Pink, non-threatening.
Apparently, you never played Doom.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I was
Talk
thinking
about
red
Pinky.
versus blue, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lightish red. Word for that. It's called pink. To
Not pink.
be fair, I think the pink bubblegum tiefling has more kills than anyone else on the party so far.
Yeah.
Only because the Kenku softened him up for her.
It's a deadly boomerang.
Boomerang keeps beheading people.
Blink.
So you all are in agreement that you're going westbound, right?
Westbound.
Okay.
There's no things for sale in the camp. We couldn't pick up a tent or anything like that.
No.
Okay. We will try and loot a cart if one should happen to cross our path.
Surprisingly, no carts. You do see one as you're leaving, but it's full of like weapons and food,
I mean, that's the best kind, really.
and that's coming in on the.
That is the perfect cart to requisition.
That's coming in on the other path you're not taking.
Yeah, that might not fly. Okay.
It looks like they're traveling the road more favored.
How about a yurt? Can we find a yurt?
You cannot find a yurt.
What about a land yacht?
Land yacht.
Yeah, a Cadillac.
A caravel.
You find a Ford Mustang just sitting parked.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, it only has 2 seats.
What is this?
He'll hotwire it and take it with him.
What
And
is this
gasoline
metal-
hasn't been invented
And
yet.
gasoline hasn't been invented yet, which is why it's just sitting there.
No,
Why is there impression of a man with a chainsaw for a hand here?
Groovy.
You just find a van with just a wizard painted on it, but you're not sure what a van is, so you don't know why it's here.
It's a building.
See, here's the thing.
It's a small building.
Gasoline might not have been invented, but alchemist fire has.
We're not
Yeah,
going
but
to
You're
blow
going
up the
to
Ford
blow
Mustang.
up the
No.
Mustang.
No, it's powered by the alchemist fire.
I'm not sure that's how those work.
I thought we had established that this was an anachronism.
Anachronisms.
Westward ho!
The Kenku will still hotwire it. Either that or take the Mr. Fusion off of it.
It's not a DeLorean, it's a Ford Mustang.
Yeah,
Get
but
your
how else would it have gotten
fictions
here?
Yeah, the Mustangs.
Presumably magic.
The
Are we
Mustang
having this
lacks the
conversation
stainless
or are we
steel
playing
external
D&D?
structure.
Yes, any technology that is sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic. Therefore, the Mr. Fusion is magic.
I mean, indistinguishable and is are different words, but that's fine.
I mean, you're in a world where there is magitech. The two can be one and the same.
Fair deal.
Therefore,
Alright,
Mr. Fusion
so-
exists. It's canon now.
After you all hallucinate a magical device made of metal, oil, and rubber, you all start down the western path. And you're looking at, and here comes the thing where fantasy writers do not do good with distances. Probably close to a week-long journey.
What are you talking about? We can get from Winterfell to King's Landing in a couple of days.
Yeah, of course. Just like you can run 500 miles from one location to another.
No, I would walk 500 miles.
I'd walk
And I would
500 more.
Walk 500 more. You
You know-
did this.
as long as you're chasing halflings, distance doesn't matter.
So, let me get this right. It's been 1 week since we looked at them.
Oh my
Dropped our...
Wow.
See,
It's
I would-
actually
okay.
been a week.
This
Here's the thing.
is the result of Payton not being here.
It actually hasn't been a week yet, so you're wrong. It's been 5 days, I think. I have to go watch the other video.
So, while one would walk 500 miles and the other would walk 500 more, I would do it just to be the man, or the Kenku that walked 5,000 or 1,000 miles to fall at.
All right, look, give me the ability to mute people.
So, what's do we see on our 5-day journey?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Every now and then you just hear the Kenku go da 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 da.
Damn it.
No, I think it's like a bird call. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Except he's being
Okay,
relatively
let's-
quiet about it
Let's get this nightmare on.
Mmm.
because obligatory stealth.
So you get about here on the first day. Actually, no. You're only traveling for a couple hours. You get about here.
So would we say approximately 1 square per day? Ish.
Well, it's about 3 in the
Okay.
afternoon. So you're only going to be traveling for about 5 hours. So yeah, maybe here.
That's okay. Put some distance between us and the spies and elves.
To be fair, some of you have never seen a drow before.
I would assume the Kenku has, considering his affiliations.
I'm sorry. I don't see colors, so they're all just elves to me.
Oh, God. That's so much worse. You remember he hates elves.
Just not a big fan.
Okay. So past the war camp, it's fairly desolate. You've got forest on one side of you, a little ways off. Sheer mountainside on the other.
Forest to the left of me, mountains to the right.
I was gonna
Here
make
I
that
am.
joke and I resisted.
Stuck in the middle with you.
See, that's the thing. I give in. I give in to the temptation every time. Anyway, moving on.
So it is now growing to nighttime. The sun is about to set. Are you setting up camp?
Sure.
Okay. Who's going to roll a survival check to find a campsite?
You know what?
Artoria is.
I was going to say the Kenku will.
Oh, if a Kenku wants to volunteer.
Ooh, Kinku
Artoria
Scout.
will assist because Artoria is an outlander. So roll with advantage.
15.
Okay. You do find a small area where the forest grows closer to the road, and you're able to shift into the tree line with your 2 horses and your mastiff. And you're able to bed down. You have no food for the horses, but luckily they graze. And Artoria is able to find food by the magic powers of the Outlander background to keep your party up and moving.
Speaking of up and moving, Kenku's going to climb the nearest tree.
You climb up the nearest tree.
Cool. Kenku and the owl are taking first watch.
Okay.
So a quick curiosity about the actual cliffs that we're walking beside. Are they like, the road's here, 10 yards that way, edge, and then just down to water?
About 20 yards away from the road, and then up for about...
Okay, so that is
anywhere
a,
between 80 to 100 feet just up.
Okay, got it. So that is a mountain rise and then the fall. Got it.
Yeah. So if you jumped off the top, you'd assume 200.
No problem.
Yeah, so, what's the watch order this evening?
Hear the Kenku just trill from the treetop.
Alright, I'll take a midnight watch and...
I'll take one.
So first perception check.
Yep. At advantage because perceiving through the owl, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Need to pull up his sheet because I need his perception. 21.
You both stay up, and from the top of your tree, you don't see anything of impact. There is a much more calm feeling to the night now that you're in the southern half of the continent.
What kind of tree am I up in?
It's actually a oh boy, words are failing. Pine.
Does it? Okay. Ooh,
Coniferous.
pine. That works.
Very sappy.
Yep, I'm going to pull a pine cone from it and toss it at Rogue to wake him up for his watch.
Oh, football practice.
Rogue pinecone just fell out of the tree.
Well, hello there, Pinecones. What is you doing down here?
And then he kind of gets himself up, and during his watch, he sort of makes himself busy working with a thieves' toolkit and just setting up little like traps and alarms. He doesn't really quite know what he's doing, so occasionally there's like a spraying tinkle tinkle as he sets off his own trap. But that's what he's doing.
Roll a thieves' tools check.
Roll
Roll dexterity plus proficiency.
Boink.
Is he
Okay.
proficient in thieves' tools?
He is.
So you don't snap the bear trap that you're setting, which is good.
Well, this is just barely a trap.
Don't make me change my mind.
Well, I will say anybody who steps in it will be in unbearable agony.
God damn it.
Ooh.
That was forced, and you know it.
That actually came to me just naturally. It
Oh,
wasn't forceful at all.
man. That hurt. Everyone takes some psychic damage.
But other than that, that's his what he's doing in the night as he's scouting around. And
Everyone
Laying
take
traps.
3 points of psychic damage. Not the characters.
I
the
hear
players.
one more bear pun, there will be some grisly repercussions.
And maybe some more. Alright, roll your perception check. Alright. Despite all your excitement in setting up all these traps, no bears.
Well, that was disappointing in several ways.
I know it was a good honeypot.
Who's taking third watch?
Prue, I believe.
Alright, Prue. You wake up to notice that you are currently surrounded by a fuck ton of traps.
You don't want to step there or there, and don't jump over there. That place is okay. If you need to pee, try to pee softly.
Looks like you did a pretty good job. She pats him on the shoulder and goes to sit over by the fire. Start.
It's all the traps are like rusted and old. But you're fairly certain one of them will not trigger stepped in.
Yeah, but the thing about them is, though, they were good traps. They were just set with absolute brute force. Like, they're just bent the wrong way. Like, they've been additionally sharpened and the teeth have been made to rust because rust hurts.
You've got a point.
Yep, tetanus sure sucks.
But she'll take her watch and she'll start setting up a couple smoke bombs.
Perception check.
Yes, because she is so good at this with her plus 0. Where are we? Big. Wow.
Hey!
You said big, therefore it was big.
And you too have a uneventful watch. You do notice a few birds flutter. At first you think it's Snap's owls still flying around, but then there's 3 of them. And you rub your eyes and there's 3 owls sitting around Snap's owl. And they all fly off in different directions.
3 versions of the same owl?
No, just 3 different
Just
owls.
3 owls.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A moment later, you just see Snap fluttering around and then come land on your shoulder.
Are a group of owls a parliament? I seem like I know that.
I have no idea.
It is a
Are they
parliament.
Funkadelic or just the regular kind?
Nope, it is a group of owls is a parliament.
What's a group of owlbears?
That's a Parliament Funkadelic.
At this level, it's a TPK.
Yeah, it's called the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh no, my traps is only half effective against them.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
So, at the end of your long rest, you all wake up and you stretch and you yawn and you feel bones in your back all pop into place. You all feel good. Really good. Way better than you slept back in the northern half of the continent.
And as your bones are like popping, Snap's just up there mimicking them.
And as that final stretching yawn really just sets those muscles in place, you all reach level 4!
Woo!
Oh shit!
That is like the best stretch ever.
You just popped yourself in some more health.
It's like a Kickstarter. We just hit a stretch goal.
Okay. ASI, 1 point into Dex, 1 point into Int.
I didn't
Now
really
you
even
can
look at
hear.
this.
I told you like a week ago.
To be fair, I
You
had
told
completely
me
forgotten.
2 weeks ago, and I've done things since then.
Rogue is what, a D8 hit die?
He's done
Yeah.
things he's not proud of.
So that's 5 plus 2, that's 7, that's 31.
What were your hit dice rules? Just normal hit dice? Roll them if you get bad, you're bad?
Roll them. If you get a 1, because 1s suck, you can re-roll it once.
Okay. Low hit point fighter, here we go!
No, I'm just going
Oh,
to take the
that's
average.
not too bad.
Nice rolls, guys. I will be a bad friend and roll for Artoria.
Oh, no, don't roll for Artoria. Let Artoria
No.
roll for themselves.
I don't want to be that person that takes the average when everybody else rolled. Fuck it.
Oh,
Hey,
Oh,
look,
no!
everyone! Look, I
Oh!
get to re-roll it!
You do get to re-roll it.
Hey,
Why are you
better.
rolling
Why are you
D4s?
D4?
Why
Why
are
are
you
you
D4?
rolling
Why is
D4s?
it D4s?
I don't know.
Probably because Roll20 reset your thing. Go into
Yeah.
the
Probably.
options menu.
Roll 20's great. Hold on, you still rolled.
What?
Oh wait, no, that's rolling a D4.
Yeah, why did it? What the fuck?
Yeah, no. Roll20 likes to reset hit dice. Uh-oh.
Hey!
Payton!
You
You just
missed
in time to
all
level up!
Hey, Payton, by the way, you're
Yeah.
level 4. Get in here and level up with the rest of us.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I have more than a 16.
Okay, I'm
He's the
literally
gods.
point short than average. Now
Not
that I'm
bad,
actually
though.
rolling D8.
I mean,
So
D8
te-
is important.
So tell our friends what you're taking, everyone.
ASI, 1 point into Dex, 1 point into Int. So my spell saves are now better, and I can shoot things better. I now have a 20 in Dexterity.
Woo!
Prudence.
I'm kind of juggling between maxing out my intelligence or going
Sharpshooter.
sharpshooter for the boomerangs.
Yes. The double hit with sharpshooter.
Hmm. Especially when she has enough time to make or enough gadgets to make another boomerang.
Oh my god.
Dual-wieldy boomerangs.
Main hand, offhand.
Yep. I am.
So much rolling.
That will be next level. She can do that. She'll have 2.
No.
Does she get extra attack?
I don't think so.
Because that would be broken if she got extra attack.
No.
I really doubt it. As a wizard? No, wait, what are you?
Artificer.
Artificer.
Nope.
Which is a wizard class, right?
Wizard.
No,
No,
it's its own.
thing.
Oh.
It's its own
It's
shenanigans.
its own thing.
Neat.
It rolls a D8.
Hey, I do learn a new spell.
I just got the ASI.
I need to go take a look at the wizard spell list.
Yeah, we're gonna
I think this is also the level you get any spell you want.
Let me double check that again.
Wait, which what?
For
I'm Arcane Trickster.
Arcane Tricksters,
Oh.
you can either pick enchantment or illusion, but at certain levels you can pick whatever you want.
Enchantment.
Enchantment?
Enchantment.
8th level.
Casey, I
can
am
come from
exactly
level, alright.
magic.
what you're putting down.
He's a little ways off.
Rogue, what are you taking?
Enchantment rogue.
Rogue is going a little boring this level. ASI, 1 to dexterity, 1 to wisdom, because it rounds things out for him nicely. So a little more grit, a little more accuracy, and then we pick up
Isoba.
the crazy stuff next time.
Well, Dungan Master, I have a very important question for you.
I
Indeed.
entirely have an answer.
How easy would it be for me to pick up medium armor and a shield as equipment right now?
Probably in a week when you get to a town, because you opted to not go the way of the towns.
Towns are for chumps.
Oh yeah, we should probably catch Payton up on what's happening.
Mushrooms, lots of mushrooms,
Oh god.
and then
No,
dwarves.
no badgers, unfortunately.
No badgers,
What about
and
consumption of mushrooms?
we managed.
No.
The Kenku
Okay,
was
good.
not here.
No, wrong type of mushrooms. These are the grow out of people and keep them alive, but
Ah.
Yeah, it was motherfucking Last of Us up in
Zombie
here.
fungus.
Yeah, as I say, do you know The Last of Us? That.
yeah, that. No sprinters though.
Thank Christ.
That's good.
I debated it. I debated on what kind of mushroom people I wanted there to be. Like, nah.
Nah, that's all right. But
Wait.
yes, creepy town that we made our way through, which was on the island. Crossed the bridge, met up with the dwarven army with a elf drow advisor. Got permission to head to Dimlodar. Got a few horses and a couple of healing potions. Set out, and
You're day one into a 5-day long journey. 5
Okay.
and 6, something like that.
there have been traveling
so-
songs.
Hit dice rolling again?
Huh?
What is your rule for hit dice rolling? Just
Roll. If you roll a 1, re-roll.
alright, cool.
Don't
So
fuck
Payton-
up.
Why are you rolling
Hey!
D4s?
It's
Why are
also
you
rolling
rolling
D4 for you.
D4s?
Yep, you need to go in and
Oh
fix your
god.
hit die. It did it to
Fucking
me
roll
as well.
20, get your shit together.
Though Peyton, to catch you up on the whole like theme of the evening, one might say we're on the road again. Going
God, I wish I
places.
remembered the lyrics to that song.
And Peyton, look, map.
Whoa. I mean, I'd been looking at the map. I don't know why I sort of act so surprised.
It's
Hey,
got
but
labels.
look, it's way different than you remember.
Hey, that's better.
Hey!
Holy shit!
The only tank is getting.
Ooh.
Actually, no, we have.
And now she has some hit points in case you get attacked at night again.
Hell yeah!
What are the odds of that happening twice in one adventure?
Hold on, let me roll.
you
Let me
say
roll
that.
1d100.
I swear to God.
Pretty good, actually.
Why would you do this to us?
It's funny.
So, my
Okay.
official answer for what I'm taking is the moderately armored feat.
Okay.
We're
Fairly certain you'll be able to find armor in Dimlodar.
dwarven
Considering
holes
it's
may, in
dwarves.
fact.
Cool.
have some armor.
And just for knowledge's sake, I'm going to point something out with a nice line. So this line I've now made, this invisible line, anything above that line belongs to Dimlodar. Anything below that line belongs to Corethan.
This is important.
Okay.
Now, one would think Corethan got screwed on this deal, but those who come from Corethan know that Corethan exists beyond these shores, and in fact owns parts of the other 2 continents.
So is there like a monarch of some sort in Corathan?
There is
King, queen?
kind of a king. I will get you that name when I write it.
I think the more important question is there any sand nearby?
You took the non-sandy path. Make the
Could have
path.
followed the coast.
That's okay. I'll just catch a couple of crickets.
We have to turn back.
Nope.
Every time you wake up, just rub your eyes and start storing it in a pouch.
Gross.
Gross.
Eye sand.
I'm waiting.
I'm a
waiting
bird.
for the chat to respond to that.
Birds do not have
No
that
me
issue.
gusta.
I'd have to collect it from everybody else.
There you go.
That's where.
Oh, nope.
And I'd
You
have
gotta
to
Go
slice-
just walks around everyone with a sack, shakes it in the morning like, give me
No,
eye
the-
sand.
Look,
Hey, you guys slept really well last night.
Mr. Sandman.
Exactly. If you're going spell components, there you go.
Bum.
It's a very musical episode we're doing here.
I know.
I'm really shocked no one's buying his song.
It's because they don't need to. They're singing anyway. We gotta,
Yep.
Scarcity
Like
creates
we can
demand.
get stuff when they're bought.
Hey, you still have that demon dice.
We do have a demon dice.
But like,
Which I will never use. Thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna use the hell out of that demon die.
not.
Not if I use it first, motherfucker.
Give me something to shoot at.
Anything.
Anything.
Perception check.
Let's
Fuck
save it
let's
for like
go.
a death saving throw that would kill someone.
Look, the reason I was asking about the
let's
river, I was
save
gonna go bullet hunting.
Let's save it for our very next D20 roll, no matter what it is.
Okay, then I have a
I bet we're using it the next D20 roll that happens. We're all agreeing
Am
to
I
this,
able to
right?
find any crickets nearby?
Roll a survival check.
Demon die survival check for crickets. There we go. What?
I get to re-roll it though.
The best use of a demon dice.
There we go,
Finding crickets!
Yep.
Now the
Oh.
DM has one he can use against us.
Fuck
You know
it.
what I'm gonna do? Just for you guys. I
Oh, you're
have a
gonna
box
re-roll an
of
encounter dice, aren't you?
I have a box of dice. I have a